Hey guys. Are you all closing to the public on the 7th? Yes. Okay, thank you. Bye. Hey y'all. I'm sending emails right now. It's kind of like um I just turned on my live. Y'all gonna really be watching me work, but it's a rumor going around that the National Archives is closing on the 7th. So I just called them to make sure that they were not closing on the 7th. So I don't know why. I don't know how that started on TikTok, but it's going around TikTok that the archives is closing on the 7th. And I've been in the archives recently here in Atlanta, and I've seen nothing of the sorts. So that was me just calling the archives to make sure that they weren't closing on the 7th. And they're not. So I don't know where this rumor started at. Anyway, if they were closing on the 7th, then that would be a problem because there are files that we have not gone through. There are files that people have not seen. I don't feel too good. That's why I'm kind of like talking like this. I don't feel good. But there are files that it's crucial, critical. So I just had to verify that they're not closing. So um I'm sending emails to I got a lot of emails to send. I got a lot of emails to send. I really wish I had an assistant or somebody to do this part. Like I love doing the research part. I hate composing the emails. I really do. It's so time consuming. I love the research though, cause I done found some interesting stuff for a lot of people. I done found some really interesting stuff. Really, really interesting. And really, to be honest, um, people are afraid of this birthright citizenship stuff. I think I want to come on later on tonight and talk about that. Um, Birthright citizenship. And then I want to discuss also um, Georgia has a new law that's very concerning that just became law today. Um, Very concerning. The law basically is two laws that coincide. One law is a human composting was legalized today. Human composting was legalized in Georgia today. So that's SB 241. Says it legalizes natural organic reduction. Natural organic reduction. Human composting. Now, in conjunction with that, there is a chemical liability shield that limits lawsuits against fertilizers and pesticide companies. And that's SB 144. Somebody need to put their eyes on this because I remember quite vividly when the human composting argument came up from a federal standpoint. They were specifically using human composting for fertilizer. And people thought it was inhumane, it'll never pass, it'll never be written into law. But some people are saying this human composting thing has been quietly written into law in many states. It just so happened a lot of people in Georgia are watching. So, because it just passed here in Georgia, they're trying to kind of cover it up as if it's just that some family members want to turn their relatives into compost instead of them being buried in caskets. I've never heard nobody say that. I've never heard that argument even be in the forefront of anything. But that's how the legislators and the some attorneys here are who lobby are trying to cover it up as if the people wanted their loved ones turned into compost. That's that's strange. This somebody needs to put their eyes on this because to run these two laws side by side, limiting lawsuits against fertilizer and pesticide companies and allowing for human compost, you have to go back to the beginning of this argument. This argument started right before COVID, like 2019. Um, what was the lady? Uh, the lady that the white lady who always saying she Native American. Senator. Oh my God, what's her name? Her face is in my. I can see her face, but I can't call her name. White lady. She always saying she Native American, but she's not. They start joking on her when they did her genealogy and saw that she ain't had no Indian in her family. She was running for president. She wanted to run for president. I think she was under the Green Party. I can't think of her name though, but she was really one of the ones that pointed this out. Thank you for the super chat, Ashley Brogan. Yes, I got your email. I'm just sending emails, but yes, thank you, thank you, Elizabeth Warren. I'm sending emails back out now, Ashley. Elizabeth Warren. Did you hear me, Kelia? You're right. These two laws, human composting, SB 241, and chemical liability shield, SB 144, is what was legalized today. But Elizabeth Warren, when they first started talking about human composting and basically using humans as fertilizer, Elizabeth Warren was one of the ones that was coming out saying that this was wrong. If I'm not mistaken, she was against it. I do very much vividly remember her being a part of the argument, though. Whether she was for it or against it, I remember her being a part. Uh-oh. That's probably why y'all can't hear me. Probably can't hear me because the thing wasn't plugged all the way in. Can you hear me now? Probably couldn't hear me because the thing wasn't plugged all the way in. I'm kind of talking kind of low. But I remember Elizabeth Warren being very much involved in that. So I'm starting to think that it's something very sinister. Something very sinister going on here. But some of the other laws are basically nothing for the people really. Um, but something very sinister. Another bill that's kind of strange is SB 72, right to try expansions, allows terminally ill patients access to experimental treatments not yet FDA approved. I'm starting to feel like it's some kind of cover up going on because right to try expansion, now you want to allow terminally ill people to access experimental treatments as if you haven't already been doing this. So, what is the cover up? What is this cover up? They've already been doing this, but the COVID shot was also considered experimental because it wasn't FDA approved. So, for people who are going to sue on the basis of getting that shot that's now causing heart problems, rare heart issues, rare heart problems, when people go to try to sue, I don't know whether this law will come up or not, but it seems like it probably would cover that. So that's three interesting things that are suspicious. Um, oh, kids can't use their phones in school. Kids K through 8 can't use cell phones in school anymore. Which is won't have time for that either because these kids need their phone in case something pop off in these schools. But kids can't use their phones in schools anymore. And there's some random shit. There's a vet loan forgiveness, student loan relief for veterinarians, and then there's a pet protection order um, that was that went into play today. Lets judges include family pets in domestic violence protective orders. I mean, I was looking for something a little bit more than this, but um, Survivor Justice Act allows reduced sentencing for victims of abuse who commit crimes under duress. So basically, if your boyfriend hits you and you kill him, then sentence reduced. I just don't know who's lobbying for this stuff. Like who lobbied for this? I don't know who lobbied for this. I don't know who lobbied for this. Hey y'all. Fentanyl trafficking penalties. Raleigh Gaines Act bans transgender girls from competing in girls' sports at public schools and colleges. Um, wow. So, Dignity and Pay Act ends sub minimum wages for disabled workers. So, disabled workers now get to make full minimum wage. I thought they was already making full minimum wage, but apparently when companies hire disabled people, they pay them sub minimum wages. Like Publix has a store full of disabled people on the line bagging groceries and rolling your groceries out to the car. These people don't even make minimum wage according to the state law. They don't have to pay the minimum wage. That's unfair. I didn't even know that. Income tax cuts went down from 539 to 519. They could have kept that. They could have kept that. I don't know what this is. I'm frustrated. My head hurt. And Georgia's on some bullshit right now. Okay. I don't know. There's something sinister going on. I feel like during COVID, all those bodies that was loaded up into those um semi trucks, and this was happening in multiple states. I'm starting to think something fishy went on with that. Maybe they turned those people into fertilizer. Cause who lobbied for this? Who lobbied to have people turned into compost? Who the fuck want to plant? It's giving devil's punch bowl because who wants to plant? Who wants to buy bags of human? Who wants to look at humans grinded up as dirt? Who the fuck lobbied for that? And for the people who lobbied for that, why didn't y'all lobby for something else? You could have lobbied to give niggas their heirs property back. You could have lobbied for reparations on the basis of stolen property. There's a lot that could have been lobbied for, but instead, guys, people will be grounded up and turned into compost. Now, I wonder who's going to get targeted for the compost. Because if you can write this into law, that means this shit been going on a massive level. Because you have perfected how to do it. That means it's already operation going on somewhere that turns humans into compost. Perfect dirt, not ashes, dirt, compost. I don't understand. Yes, the biosolids are crazy work, putting dead bodies on fresh fruits and vegetables. Who the fuck acts for that? See, they must have heard the rumor that, oh, yeah, wild peaches grow in the devil's punch bowl, and these white farmers, cannot plant to save their damn lives. They're trying to blame it on everything. Oh, we don't have enough potash. Oh, we don't have enough this, we don't have enough that. No, you just don't have a green thumb. You was never supposed to take over that farm in the first place, but you took it by force, and the land has been barren ever since you had it. Instead of admitting that, you say, oh, well, there's something wrong with the soil quality because you didn't know how to irrigate the soil like the niggas did. You didn't know that you couldn't plant year round. You had to plant, harvest, and then regulate the dirt. But now, since you heard that wild peaches grow in the devil's punch bowl, where the niggas was buried at during the Civil War, well, where they fell dead at because the Union Army ran them off in the punch bowl, and that's where they died because they couldn't get out. You heard that wild peaches grow there, and you said, you know what, it'll be a good idea to turn black bodies into compost, and we can use that to sprinkle on our soil, and that could be our little cheat code. Because I just know they're not going to ground up no white people and turn them into compost. I just know they're not. I feel it in my soul. They're not going to do that. And then when your friend get grounded up as compost and their family go to try to sue, they also put the law in place today that limits the ability to sue fertilizer and pesticide companies. Fertilizer companies and pesticide companies are different. A fertilizer grows, a pesticide kills. So these are two totally different companies that are now getting protection. Now the pesticide side of all of this is a bit more, controversial because they've been spraying pesticides on stuff. We heard during COVID they were spraying some kind of green stuff on the plants. China, they said they even sprayed the weed with something. I don't know whether it was a phenol mix of poison and fentanyl or what, but we all heard the rumor. So um, it's gonna be hard for you all to sue them as well. Yes. So um, if we are compost, we are no longer discoverable via their no evidence of who was buried where, more claims land. Pretty sure that's what they've been doing with Negro graves. Yeah. Dwight, can yes, you can talk with me. I've been talking to people on email all day. I really came on here to work, to continue working, so y'all could see my face. But um, I'm gonna send out some more emails, and then we're gonna get another batch of people. It's a lot of I got a lot of emails to send out. Yeah, using humans is sick. They're not gonna use no foreigners. They're not. Yeah, it's like a science experiment. They've already perfected this, guys. This has already been perfected. If when they start making stuff law, that means y'all already sat back and experimented somewhere to know that this is possible. Because you wouldn't make something a law that isn't possible. That's scary. So who was turned into compost? Bioengineering is already a global initiative for years. Now, example, ever tasted a tomato mm, that favors fish? Mm. Why are they even allowed to lobby when we have lawmakers who need to work, who need to be working fair and impartial? And why are most lobbyists foreigners? See, look, I feel I got some feelings about this. This is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Um, Cured Bloom TA Grow Mix 640 ProCare Natural Fertilizer. Echo Scraps Slow Release Fertilizer. Menards Premium Natural. Oh my goodness. So they have already been doing this. So these are companies on Green Edge Slow Release Fertilizer. Earth Life Natural, just a few. What? Wow. There's so much giving Punch Bowl like make me think of the small part of the documentary, you should, yeah, about the punch bowl. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. I put it in Who Stole the Cookies about the Devil's Punch Bowl. There were many punch bowls though, but that one in particular, they talk about the fruit. Oh my goodness. I also heard someone on TikTok saying they was taking people ashes as well, doing the same thing. And yeah, it makes me wonder, like, so have you really been cremating people, or have you just been giving families just some random ashes and selling the body off to fertilizer companies? Because there's no way it should be that many established human fertilizer companies. Who thinks of shit? Like, it's some monsters amongst us for real. It's some monsters amongst us. Um, I haven't probably just haven't seen it yet. I'm Dwight. Um, they had at one time you could bury a loved one in this pod that would decompose and grow a tree. Hmm. Is this that Green New Deal type stuff? Um, zero carbon. Um, is Bill Gates behind any of this stuff? Because I don't even know how you would compost a human. How would you contain the smell of a decomposing body, decomposing flesh? How would you contain the smell? I know on Bill Gates' mound over there in Conley, Georgia, right at the confluence of 75, 285, 675, and Moreland Avenue, those green things that's over the mound, it's supposed to be to mute the scent out. It's scent based, it's scent related, something to mute the scent out. It's like these green things with these squares on them, like all over the mound. When you go back to when they put those on to take the scent away, to mute the scent that was coming from the mound. But they said at that point that it was a mound of trash. At that point, they said it was a trash mound. That's why they needed to contain the scent. But the jury's still out on whether it's a trash mound or not, because we know trash mounds, when you burn trash, it turns to ash, and that's still a perfect mound. Yeah, I mean, it hadn't gotten no smaller, and it's burning 24 hours. So I'm just trying to see how is it trash? Somebody said it's called a tree pod burial. So there are actually people that's saying, "Hey guys, turn me into a tree." It's some white folks shit, and they're using black people to do it. Cause I don't know near nigga that'll say that. Niggas want some pumping circumstance. Niggas want to be buried, and we want a funeral that's really good. And we want to eat pound cake and chicken and string beans at the repast. I don't know one nigga that's saying turn my body into compost and sprinkle me around your garden, bag me up and sell me for money. And I know a heap of niggas. Niggas, Negroes, blacks, coloreds, darkies, Americans. I know plenty of them. I've never seen nobody put no post out talk about, hey, just turn me into compost, guys. Disgusting. Company called Better Place Forest. Said I used to see posts about tree pods on Facebook. DNA tests can be done on ashes. I've seen them do it on an old, wow, dig site that was a cremation hub. Wow, that surprises me. Yeah, it's a lot of sinister stuff going on. Yeah, they're fucking up big time, J Rex. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back later on today and talk about land. By later, I mean like 7 o'clock. Let me see. Is it Diddy got what's going on with the Diddy trial? Any updates? Let me see. Let me go to my trustee. Um, I don't think there are no updates. We're on jury watch here to see whether they're gonna come with a verdict today. I don't think they're gonna come with no verdict today. So I'll probably be back on here when I get off. I'll probably be back on here at 8 o'clock to do an actual show. This was more like I was just coming on here to email folks and stuff, but and talk about these laws that were passed. This is crazy. Later on today, I want to talk about. I want to do. I said I had a story about boats that I wanted to tell y'all. So later on today, we're going to talk about that. It's one of the things we're going to talk about. It's tied into land, of course. I initially thought that somebody was trying to make it a little bit difficult for us because they're saying the archives is supposed to close on the 7th, but I literally just called the archives. They're not closing. But I think it was mighty strange. You know, I tried to open up an archive facility a few years ago, 3 years ago, and I was stopped. So now these people can close stuff at will, and we don't even have all the files. I have my files, digital files, but it's files that we ain't even went through yet. I'm starting to think. I'm starting to think something strange going on. But like I said, I just called them. They said they're not closing, so I don't know who started that rumor and why. But they turn the volume up. I'm just talking low. That's just me talking low. The sound is really low. Oh, the big beautiful bill. We may talk about that later on there. The big beautiful bill did pass. I think this is all theater, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's all theater. I was watching some of it yesterday. I was watching Senator um, Kennedy. He was making a big fuss about $1 billion is supposed to go to just basically, they don't know where $1 billion is going to. And they were trying to argue back and forth of what to do with the $1 billion. And then someone stood up and said, um, the Senate is powerless. And how can we let them just write bills and with not, letting us know where the money is going to, and we're powerless, blah, blah, blah. At any rate, they voted. It was 50 nays and 50 yays, and Vince had to come in and do the tiebreaker basically. So the big beautiful bill was written into law, which it makes me think it's just theater. Um, it just really makes me think it's some theater. It's just theater. You guys were going to pass it in the first place, but for some reason you wanted our attention to be on this bill. To watch y'all sit here and fake like you really cared what was in the bill and knowing that you did not, and you was going to sign it anyway into law. So it was signed into law. Elon Musk went on a tangent about it being a slush fund, and then him and Trump are currently going back and forth, and I'm just like, ain't shit enough for us. The people who were supposed to be lobbying for us, getting us some kind of cut in this big beautiful bill, they was too busy fighting for foreigners. They were too busy trying to stop ICE from taking foreigners to the countries that they're from. So they didn't give a damn about us to even add us into the big beautiful bill. The people who said they for niggas, the people who supposed to be for colored, they were sitting there fighting for these Colombian guys to not be deported. They sitting there fighting for the Sudanese guys to not be deported. They sitting there fighting for the guys from the British guys from the UN to not be deported back to where they from. They could have said, hey, before y'all pass this big beautiful bill on the black Americans, they asked for reparations on the basis of, hell, they could have even did it for slavery. I wouldn't have even been mad if they would have said on the basis of slavery. Since y'all got this bill, this birthright citizenship law all over the place, talk about it's for babies or slaves, for babies or slaves. Y'all should have added into that big beautiful bill. All right, since y'all said the birthright citizenship was for babies or slaves, you really just told these people that they were slaves at one point. So that means we do need to give them reparations and restitution, because for a long time y'all act like nothing had happened. And later on today, I will explain this whole babies of slaves and how this slavery thing worked and how it fleshed out. I can go all the way back to the 1700s when these people first came over here and had a foothold in the land and start getting these little slithers of colonies over here. Now if a Democrat was really for a darky, then they would have used Trump babies of slaves quote and added in some reparations in that big beautiful bill on the basis of slavery. You didn't even have to go and do land. You didn't have to go and do Jim Crow. You could have just took this man quote and then asked for reparations just on the basis of that. But they always drop the ball. Every time it relates to black Americans, the ball is dropped. If it's even picked up in the first place. The ball was dropped. Nothing for you. That's why I don't even care about it. Yes, I will touch on birth. I'm going to do a whole show tonight. Because I'm tired of people with this birthright citizenship stuff. It's just the dumbest shit. It's just people are dummies. People are really dumb. And guys, you can be an attorney and be dumb. Just let you know. You can be an attorney and be dumb. Um, that's just what it is. People are uneducated as it relates to history. People are uneducated as it relates to law. You know, when old boy got on the stand today, he read Vince, the vice president, when he came to do the tiebreaker today, he read a law. He cited a law from 1960. And in order to be a good lawyer, you have to be able to go in all of these case laws, not just case law from 10 years ago. You have to look at all the case law. That's what makes a lawyer a great lawyer. And what makes a lawyer a dummy is if he refused to look at all of the laws that are related to that particular issue. That's what make him a dummy. That's what'll make a lawyer come online. There's many of them. There's one that just went viral on TikTok and viral here on YouTube, sitting here telling black Americans they're going to be deported and why they're going to be deported. A big dummy. A big black dummy. It's amazing the amount of black dummies that I've seen. I didn't know people were so dumb. It's a scare tactic. It's giving American Colonization Society. It's giving you want people to be scared so that we'll voluntarily get ourselves on the ship and go to Sierra Leone or Liberia. That's what it's giving. It's giving scare the masses out they spot. Because you know damn well niggas with birth certificates with a print of their foot on it ain't being deported nowhere. Okay. But they got so many people scared. They have added so much fluff into this very simple, very simple law that they confusing the shit out of people as if all niggas are created equally. All blacks are not created equally. Some of us are from here, some people aren't. So there are going to be some people who get deported who look like us. Just like the guy who was talking about he was born on the military base and he just got deported and they wanted us to cry about that issue. I come in, hey, now there's more to this story. Got to be more to this story. The buddy parents are from Jamaica. Bitch, that's why you got deported. Stop bringing this shit on social media as if he a nigga. Oh, look at this black American man who just got deported. He was born on the military base and he just got deported. He got deported because his parents weren't born here. End of the story. Anyway, I will talk about that. That'll be a topic for later on today. Like I said, I'll probably go live about around 7 or 8. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Hit the bell notification. I'm gonna be sitting here sending out emails probably for the rest of the day. Probably up until about 7. I'm gonna go get me something to eat so I can get some energy, and then I'm gonna bring on another group of people later on today. Let's see. Yeah, that's crazy. Negroes cannot and will not be deported. They will be well, later on today, I'll do a history lesson, and just so you can see, it's impossible. It's an impossibility. But I'm gonna show you guys the trick, and it does deal with the American Colonization Society. It was 2 parts to the American Colonization Society. I bring them both out today, later on today, and then I'm gonna tell y'all a story about a boat. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about a boat. I may even bring out some legislation. It's no telling where I go with where I can go with this. I can go a lot of places with this. But one thing you will not be is confused. One thing you will not be is confused. Because I can break history down to the letter. To the letter. So that's what I'll do later on today. I have records showing that my 3rd times great grandmother parents are by her only daughter, but can't find any records with her and him. Can I still get the land? Wait, I have records showing that my 3rd times great grandmother parents are by her only daughter. If you reword that so I can answer you. Because 3rd times great grandmother, your 3rd times great grandmother parents are by her only daughter. How would you be able to prove that without records? But you can't find records with her and him. That's what you're saying. Okay. You can't find records with the both of them on it. And you're still asking, can you get land? Well, it depends on when she was born. Even if she was born by a midwife, there are still files for when midwives were doing deliveries. There's still files. So if they're not on a census together, which census did you look at? Was it a state census? Was it a federal census? You have county census. There are different types of census records that you can also look at. Did you find a death record? Go down. Sometimes people can be the witness on the death record. You never know. She could have been the witness to his death. Her name could be on the death certificate as a witness. You never know. There's a myriad of ways you can find a person. So, share and click like. Yes, thank you, JTex. Janice, you be on. Appreciate you. Thank you. Partial verdict reached in. What? What you mean? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How's a partial verdict reached? Let me see. Let me see if Pascal said something. Side or the prosecution side. And I've been in that situation, and everybody can still get it wrong in terms of the way it's enumerated. Oh, count 2, 3, and 4. Dang. My understanding is that they do need to come to a unanimous decision. So they just reached a verdict on count 1, on count 2, 3, 4, and 5, but not count 1, which is the RICO. But we're all going to find out, because no matter what happens here, best believe you're going to see this wind up in the appellate court. How is that possible? I know that Diddy's team is definitely keeping an eye on everything as far as appeals. Oh my goodness! Way. I tend to agree with you exactly what you're saying, Adante, about all of this. That they definitely going to be. Somebody said the judge sent them back. There's no partial verdict. So how? Where is this even coming from? Lee now, who's asking if it is guilty, will he still go to jail for counts 2 through 5? Right. So Philip, about that, if he's guilty, and the first one, let's take the racketeering conspiracy and just, step it out for a minute. But if we're talking 2 through 5, let's say he's guilty, which, by the way, we still have yet to know. He's guilty, he'll still go to jail, right?
Yes, of course. They're certainly not going to release him because he would stand convicted of those charges. And the only real question then is how much time he'll get. So, no, he's not going to get released. But you can bet, depending on what the split is on count 1, if in fact a mistrial is declared, the prosecution will likely retry him because, if I'm not mistaken, I think it carries life, and they definitely want to get him on that top count if they can get a life sentence.
A lot to think about here. I again want to remind anyone who is just so the jury is hung on 1 or 2 charges. Yeah, they hung on a RICO charge. That's what they're saying. Two through 5, it's that number 1, the racketeering. My email is Janice at helloplants.com. Maurice and Dwight. Right now, because this is a really intense time. My name, Janice. Behind me. She is there at helloplants.com. That's where I'm emailing from right now. So I see your email coming. Anything and everything like that. I promise you we'll have Elizabeth Milner on as soon as we can. But it's important for her to be in that courthouse. I'm going to continue to stay here live in the Southern District of New York to bring you the latest. But also, we've got Jesse Weber, who will be. Why are people saying he's guilty on 2 through 5? Find out an answer for all of this. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Jesse Weber will be here to break it all down for us. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Somebody said, yeah, you can email me, Janice at helloplants.com. Yo, that's weird. Let me go to another source. Because you already know. This whole trial should have been public and not via, instead of the trial being via, this whole trial is via text message, basically. Because all thing we can do is read text message and try to figure out what's going on. When really the trial should have been shown live. Just like everybody else's trial. Let's see what Nika Knight definitely made me feel broken. I kind of like her a little bit. I don't think they done reached no verdict, y'all.
And some of the last kid's baby mama just went in. Child, ooh, it's intense, y'all. It is intense.
I would not want to be out there. It's a lot of YouTubers out there. I would not want to be out there.
It is intense. I'm sorry I accidentally went mute, but hopefully you guys could have still saw. The family is in there. This is crazy. Whew. Oh my.
They might be finna lock this boy up.
Oh my Lord.
You know what else? You know what else came out this
right.
week?
They're not kids, they're his kids. But as long as y'all saw them going in, that's all that matters. I'm up here.
Y'all know what else came out? The YouTubers. It's some YouTubers. These people hate YouTubers. YouTubers got too much power. YouTubers got a little bit too much power. Some YouTubers did a ritual. Like they did a mockery of how rituals go in Hollywood. And they're big YouTubers. So they kind of had the whole, I don't know who gave them how the ritual go, but they did a mock of the ritual. And in that mock ritual, they kind of like brushed over it, but they're saying that these people drink blood, but the blood has semen in it. And I'm wondering, like, is that what they be doing? Drinking blood with semen in it? Because that would like answer my question about what's going on with all this semen stuff. Hey, D. Barbara, what's going on with all this semen stuff that Diddy and them be using? Like, why they sitting here playing in semen? That kind of
development in a case. There's a lot coming at you, and I know you've been able to be in touch with people who are in the courtroom and so forth. So before we hand off to the next hour, because this news will continue, I just want to check back in with you to see where are you at this moment in terms of what we should expect or any updates. Right. So we're unclear if the jury is going to continue to deliberate today and what exactly is going to be happening next on that front when it comes to charge one. But I do count one. But I do want to talk to you about the mood in the courtroom right now. According to our court reporter who is inside right now, and some of our journalists who are also in other parts of the courthouse watching on something like a feed, the cameras inside, Combs appears to be very somber. Two of his attorneys sitting down, including Tenny Garagos, the daughter of a very famous celebrity attorney, Mark Garagos, who at one point represented Combs, looking dejected. And that is an exact quote. So again, perhaps they were hoping for hung on a few other charges, right? And so I think that it's very, very interesting that we are waiting on this racketeering charge because, like I said, it's been pretty fascinating to watch the jurors' faces for all of these weeks. And really, you know, they say don't read the tea leaves here, and you never really know what jurors are thinking, so don't try to get in their minds. But again, it's been very obvious that some of them just have not been on board with the prosecution.
Yes, I'm actually live sending emails out now, Miss Chandler. I'm not sure which last name you're under, but
regardless of the outcome, so we will wait for more word.
Oh no, I'm not. I definitely haven't gotten to you yet, Miss Chandler, because yours was just a few days ago. So I haven't gotten to you yet, Miss Chandler, but I'm coming. I haven't gotten to you quite yet, but it's coming. Don't be confused. It's nothing to be confused about.
Counts very quickly here, or do you expect the court to require them to again go back and deliberate further?
I expect that the court will require them to go back and deliberate tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow they will come to a decision so that then the prosecution does not have to decide whether or not they want to rebring those charges or drop them.
Well, I'm confused because why would they come out and say he's guilty on certain charges but not guilty on the RICO? I thought when these types of verdicts happen that they announce all the charges at the same time, guilty or not guilty, right? No? I don't know. Am I tripping? Don't they supposed to read it all at the same time? I thought they supposed to read it all at the same time. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. Because charges 2, 3, and 4 is like life. Because each charge is like a 20-year. Each charge is like a 20-year sentence. 15, 20-year sentence. So partial verdict. Yeah, everybody's saying partial verdict is in. How the hell is it a partial verdict? I don't understand that. I don't understand no partial verdict. That's weird. A partial verdict. Yeah, I don't understand that, guys. You're supposed to read all the verdicts at the same time. Hmm. Yeah, everybody's saying a partial verdict. See what CNN's saying. Juries say they've reached a verdict on some counts. When did they start doing it like that? When did they start doing court like that? I don't know. Here's a count by count reminder of the charges. 1 is the racketeering conspiracy, that's RICO. 2 is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. So they got guilty on that. 3, transportation to engage in prostitution. They got guilty on that. 4, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Got guilty on that. And 5, transportation to engage in prostitution. Guilty on that. I don't get it. I thought they're supposed to read all this stuff at the same time. So they going from the verdict room and up to the judge and like, well, he guilty on count 1. That'll have me on pins and needles too. Just give me my fate at one time. Don't come and hand it to me piece by piece. Just give it to me at one time. The jury sent a note saying they reached a verdict on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, but was unable to reach a verdict on count 1, which is RICO conspiracy. Now, why did they even read that out loud? It said apparently Weinstein also has a partial verdict in his trial. I don't know, guys. It's something weird, something strange. Why would you send a note out and say, well, we found them guilty on the few, but we still working on the other one? Don't, well, just come out when you finish with everything. Because now you send everybody in the frenzy like, oh my God, he going to jail, call his parents in. Like now you send everybody in the frenzy. They need more clarification. That's what I'm saying. Wait till you get the clarification and then come out and say we got him or we don't have him or something. Somebody said they're cutting deals. They got to be. They got to be. At this point. They got to be. Uh-oh. I'm back. My camera head went out. Can y'all see me? Yeah, they got to be cutting deals at this point. Somebody is cutting a deal. But once you just cut a deal from the start, then I don't know. This is weird. Reaction to verdict in Sean Diddy trial. I would play it on the screen, but then people be trying to flag. People be flagging. Yeah, he probably been dropping names, Dwight. Dwight, he probably been dropping names. He probably been dropping names. I think he been at the G's. Especially when they reworded the provisions on what they was charging him on. They was looking for some bigger people, in my opinion. Now Diddy is a tyrant ass nigga too. He a tyrant. Diddy a tyrant too, and I want people to understand that Diddy would not speak to any of us. he would not speak to any of us in real life. So this is not a person that like regular people. You know, he don't like regular people. So he is a tyrant. He is very much a tyrant. You know, some of that stuff he did was just like mm, a regular man would have been went to jail for that. But you just keep getting away with stuff. But however, there were more pressing issues than this Diddy shit. You know, he was trafficking grown men. He was literally trafficking grown men. Now, these men will get justice if this verdict comes back guilty. But the fact that grown men was trafficked by Diddy, and some of them didn't even realize that it was. They thought it was one guy said he thought he was going to dance, and then here come Diddy out in a damn mask. Terrible. It's a lot of people that done got locked up now. I feel like the guys who was giving him that pink cocaine, they probably some of the ones that went down last week. Yeah, they were escorts, but the company that they work for said that they were just dancers. The Cowboys and Angels company, they said those guys were just dancers, not escorts. However, they were actual escorts, and they proved that in some messages that was sent back and forth from the Cowboys and Angels lady to Christina Karam. When they was doing the payment, they didn't want to pay one of the guys because he couldn't perform. Basically, he couldn't ejaculate, he couldn't nut or whatever. And like this has been just some crazy stuff. And so they didn't pay him because he didn't finish the job. And that lady was like, the person from Cowboys and Angels was basically like, it, whether they finished the job or not, they were there. You need to pay them. You need to pay us our money. So even the person who owned Cowboys and Angels knew that these guys were slanging meat around. They knew these, very much knew these was escorts, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're going down next. And I'm even more interested. Somebody said, still no word on my volume 2. It's coming, love. It's coming. Thank you for your patience. I really appreciate your patience. I really appreciate it. Um, Crazy how this trial was all about political power, and when the Dems didn't win, this is what happened. I don't know. Maybe so. I thought it was politically related too. You'll see videos on my timeline from when it first happened saying it was politically related. I don't think it's coming from the Democrat side. I think it's coming from the other side. They have reached a verdict on 4 and 5 counts, according to TMZ. 4 out of 5, yeah. Only count they haven't reached the verdict on is the RICO. But my thing is, why come out and say that? Won't you just wait until you damn reach the verdict on everything? Because you're gonna send somebody home today to say, well, we got one more count to find him guilty. I've never seen nothing like this before. He said, of course she's going to say that the owner don't want smoke with the feds, right? Well, you got some because you've been trafficking these men too. And I think the owner might be a man. It may be a co-owner, um, or something like something going on, something strange going on. Because why would a man be working under a company like that? A man can get sex on his own. You know, why would I don't know. I don't know because what woman would pay $5,000 to have sex with a man? That's how much Diddy was paying. So that means these men are probably got some real high powered clients. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know one woman that'll pay 5,000 for some sex. I don't know. All of this is weird to me. Let's see. What are they saying? So they can prove to Rico.
Right, when it's a stalemate like this, that's kind of the question I'd like to know, without it being like, okay,
So it's a hung trial on
if you
Rico.
really think he's not guilty, because he clearly is not guilty. I mean, that's a very exaggerated version of that. But clearly, they want the answers. They want the verdict. You know what I mean? They want a decision on all, right? So again, this would be very interesting. But now, Agnifalo's like, well, they're doing a good job. He's like, I'm willing to gamble. I'm willing to roll the dice and say that he's not, like, maybe Agnifalo's thinking that he's not guilty on all charges, on the first four. Maybe he's thinking he's not guilty on all those. He's about to be not guilty on Rico. So let's get to that. Let's get to that not guilty. They can change their minds, right? So interesting. CR, thank you so much for gifting one membership. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thank you. All right.
Inner City Press is
Remember
the only resource.
Welcome to the family.
This is so strange because Inner City Press is literally the only resource from inside the courtroom. Everybody else is really just giving their opinion. Inner City Press is the only one that's allowed to type live, and even Inner City Press is used to be clicked in with the Jewish community, because when you go and look up Inner City Press stuff, like he been doing this for a long time. Some of those big Jewish cases, he covered them. So I don't know how he was able to. He's the only one that they allowed to do this. He done did something, YT Murrow. He did something now. Cause if you tell that damn girl, if that girl tell you that she only want to be with you, and you was like, all right, cool, we'll spend some quality time together, and then when she get there, you got the whole setup going with the freak off. That's crazy. And then everybody's scared of Diddy, so when nobody gonna tell them no, they like, well, why didn't the girls just leave? Hell, the men was scared of Diddy. The girls scared. Ain't nobody just leaving this guy. Ain't nobody not finna do what he say. It's people online scared of Diddy. This Diddy had people shook. When Diddy was in rap form, Diddy had people shook. Diddy had allegedly got mercenaries out here in these streets. You got the YouTubers as they're covering the case having to buy security because they scared of what Diddy is capable of. So many people have said from the stand that Diddy was higher than the police, that he had more power than the police and all this and that. Some of the celebrities said Diddy's the feds. I don't think he the feds. I think he more CIA-ish, but them people were scared of him. Them people were scared. So he is guilty of some of this shit. He is guilty of some when he beat that girl ass and drug her back in that room to finish that freak off. Talking about finish strong. That's kidnapping. That definitely is kidnapping. Um, we have a. We still haven't seen. It, they all. They. Let me tell you, they all together. What do all four of them people got in common that you just mentioned? They all are together. All of them are together. See, I kind of broke that down too when I was breaking down how these people get these wives from these modeling agencies. Where did Cassie come from? Where did Cassie come from? A modeling agency. So you saying the president? Where did Melania come from? A modeling agency. You got to put the pieces together. All these men are. Oh, they're not what regular men are. These people work on. They're in a whole different league. They knew what they was doing with these models. Now, what you don't know is when you're dealing with all these foreign models like Diddy is dealing with, he ain't dealing with no black women. Notice one nail black woman on the stage speaking against Diddy, not one. You're dealing with all foreign women. So when you have all these foreign women in these modeling agencies that y'all passing back and forth, and a lot of these video vexing girls and girls that you're like, well, how she done been with 3 rappers and 4 rappers, and how she just keep getting passed around? These girls are being escorted out through these modeling agencies, just like the Cowboys and Angels. You know, they're look at their website. They're up there as models and dancers and stuff. Now they in fact they even had a TV show about gigolos or something back in the day. So these people are not in the same. They're not in the same league as a regular man. A regular man would have been went down for this stuff. When you talking about people who are billionaires, because the 4 people you named are billionaires, this is what they do, and this is what they get away with. We don't know who done did what for real. But saying domestic violence, that's it, is crazy. Like domestic violence should be swept up under the rug. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's not just domestic violence. When you listen to this case and you see that everybody is scared of this man, that everybody's scared that they gonna get offed, and nobody will know what happened to them, then that means this man got more power than you think. That means this man got more power than us regular folks on the internet think. And the people who was around him know about the power that he has. That's what it means. So they're not gonna just leave. They're not gonna just not do what he say. Cassie said that for somehow he had her location no matter where she went. The Jane Doe girl said when she tried to leave Diddy, Diddy called her and said, "Well, I see you're in Paris. How's your trip going?" Like when she actually tried to leave, he knew where she was at all times still. And she looking over her shoulders like, well, damn, ain't no security following me. So how does he got my location? So when you dealing with people like that, they got your location no matter what. That was 2 girls that was on the stand that said that. And that Diddy is not regular. Diddy is not a regular guy. Who has your location right now, YT? Nobody. Nobody that's not on the government, maybe. But no regular person has your location at all times, unless it's somebody that you gave it to, you sharing your location with. But when these girls not sharing their location, when they trying to get away, and this man call you and say, I know where you at. How's Paris going? Pardon me? That's why they were scared. I'd have been scared too. I'd been looking around like, you can see me. You know, you got to understand. You had full grown men afraid of Diddy. That should tell you all you need to know. Yeah, all those weird activities are a part of the industry, and let us consider all angles. There wasn't a mention of minor trafficking. That was a controlled public stunt. You know what? That's what I was looking for too. I was looking for whether they was going to mention the child trafficking thing. I don't think they had nothing on child trafficking. I don't know who put that out, unless they was talking about Cassie. But even with that, that would be way beyond the. Really, you would have to get Ryan Leslie, because Ryan Leslie was with Cassie when she was 16. He was 26. So somebody need to tap on his old shoulder too and say, hey, you know that girl when she was 16, when she was a model, you started being with, was you with her or was you just managing her? Now, let's make sure. Somebody should have asked him some questions too. Because he the one that shuffled her off to Diddy when she was a model. She at 16. But I think Diddy didn't get with her till she was like 19. He threw her 20th birthday party. So Diddy got with her when she was 19. Don't know how old Diddy was. He was old though. Somebody said Diddy got demon power. But yeah, basically. Willful ignorance is a scourge, man. Is a scourge. Shaking my head. Diddy put GPS trackers on all those women's cars and phones. Had to, cause how did he know where they was at? Yeah, YT Merrill, the others are white. Yeah, they're white, they Asian. Here's the thing though, when you dealing with these modeling agencies, like you don't know when they gonna slip a military person in there to come and get intel. You don't know when they gonna slip a Filipino spy in there or a Russian spy in there in those agencies, and then push them off on the billionaires. You know what I'm saying? The millionaires and billionaires who look at these agencies for women. You don't know when they're gonna send a Russian spy in there, and now they got all your tea. Now they got all your information, and they just sit here spying on your every move to send it back and use it as intel when you get out of line. See, I feel like that was Diddy's job. I feel like that was Epstein's job as well, to sit here and collect information on guys and on these wealthy men, and then use it when they get out of line. Use the intel when they get out of line. That's what I feel like. Somebody said, "Will Trump pardon him though? Not even Cassie nor Jane Doe or escorts testify on being scared." Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Multiple people said they were afraid of Diddy. In fact, Bonner, what's when the girl who testified for Kid Cudi, she said she was scared of Diddy because she said when the cops pulled her over, when the cops pulled her over, and they saw Diddy, they basically let them go. They were starstruck, and she said at that moment she knew that Diddy was larger than law enforcement, and that scared her. She literally said that from the stand. I think that was Bonner or Mia, the girl that was Diddy's assistant. And then Diddy's other assistant, the male, if I ain't mistaken, he said it too. When he said he quit so that he can avoid all of this madness, they're gonna get on the stand and say they scared so the government can get them some protection. But these people were fucking scared. You had people in real life that was scared of Diddy in real time. So these people know Diddy, whatever Diddy is, whoever he is for real, they knew Diddy was about their life. Or whatever life it is. Whatever life it is. This still saying partial verdict, partial verdict. NBC News jury reaches partial verdict. Um, I don't think Trump gonna pardon Diddy. I don't think they like each other.
On the jury. They may not understand RICO conspiracies, but they're
gonna
all
return
seen mafia
tomorrow.
movies, and they all understand handing over $100,000 in cash in a brown paper bag. They get it, and the government knows it. They're very good at this kind of theater. And yet, the defense argued that, hey, wait a minute, he didn't pay off the mayor, he didn't pay off the senator, he paid off some guy. There's no ongoing investigation. This was not this again. They minimized it. This is just a strange alternate lifestyle. It may be deplorable. It may not be something you would do, but it is not a federal crime. It's certainly not these complex federal crimes. And of course, as expected, here we are with the jury struggling with the most complicated charge in this case. One, that the verdict form took up far more page space than any of the other counts verdicts. So in all likelihood, again, I'm often wrong when I forecast, but I would expect that this might be a case where the jury has reached verdicts of guilty on counts 2 to 5. I could be wrong. I may be eating those words. And of course, I am not surprised that they are struggling with the most complicated count 1, racketeering conspiracy. Even lawyers struggle with it. It's that hard to understand.
Dang, they said even
So,
lawyers
Angela,
struggle with it.
Final thoughts to you here, as I
Dang,
know,
lawyers even struggle with RICO, with understanding it. It said the RICO that one charge is like 60 something pages. So I don't know. As I said, theater. Yeah, I mean, shit. There's all this gets given. It's given. All of this shit is tied in together. Um, it's given. It's given. It's tied in together. So they have not reached a verdict, guys, on count 1. But hell, all the other counts is like 15 to 20 years. So if they reach guilty on count 2 through 5, that's like 15 to 20 years each count. That's still like life sentence. That's crazy. Well, yep, that's it, guys. That's it. It reached a verdict. Um, it's a show. We just don't know who all part of the show. I have my speculations on who's all part of the show. Um, I did make a prediction that ended up turning out to be true. I said it. Look, this is tied into politics, and I said it's mighty strange, this Israel-Iran conflict, and then Diddy's defense tried to use the Israel-Iran conflict. That's what I thought. They did it after I said it, just so y'all can remember. Diddy defense tried to use the Israel-Iran conflict. I would not have used that defense. Yeah, either way, he's not getting out. Either way, at best they can try to. Well, I guess what they do, time served for some, or what they call it. I forget what's the name for it when they try to reduce the time. Like appeal it. Maybe they can appeal it. I don't know. But they found him guilty on the federal charge, and you gonna do a lot of time. So is Diddy, so we won't stay focused on birthright. I don't think birthright is our focus. I think the powers that be is trying to scare us into focusing on birthright. It's really when I explain it later on today, you will understand why it's shit got nothing to do with us. It really don't. But if we fall for the propaganda, then it will have something to do with us, and I'm gonna tell you how. Um, it's something larger going on. It's something larger going on in conjunction with. It's like both sides of powerful men who've been doing dirt know what each other have done. All these guys are billionaires. We're literally sitting here watching the trial of a billionaire. Epstein was a billionaire. These are not men with little bitty sprinkles of money. These are men with a lot of power and a lot of money. That's why people are scared of them. So there's nothing going on in the background, but it's something going on parallel to this. Like it's bigger players that they're bringing down, like all those big drug cartels that they've been bringing down. Regular, these billionaires don't get drugs from regular people. They're not getting drugs from Pookie and Ray Ray. They getting drugs from the source. So if the government comes in and do a RICO on you, they want to know. And they kept bringing up pink cocaine. They kept bringing up all the drugs that Diddy was getting. If the government keeps bringing up drugs, and that means they're going after your source. They going straight to the top. They know Diddy not making drugs. They want to know who he getting them from, and this whole chain of command with those drugs gonna get locked up. And I feel like that's what happened last week. That's why I'm saying it's stuff running parallel to this case that you need to pay attention to. Like they mentioned child trafficking from the start, right? And then they stopped mentioning it when the trial came. And then simultaneously, all these child trafficking rings that been running for years started being bust. The big one out in Dallas, two down in Florida, one over in California, one in North Carolina. These huge child trafficking rings started being just taken down. So could be somebody that he was connected to, that he had got footage of. Remember, they took all the footage out of his house. They didn't mention any of that footage in this trial because the feds already was getting the information that they needed. So that's Diddy probably already talked. The feds was probably already getting the information that they needed from Diddy. So the footage that all that footage that they got out of his house, from they got his servers and all this stuff he had, all his servers, all his files. They didn't bring up any of that stuff. They probably saw who they needed to see at the freak offs who was doing what. Mind you, these was just niggas at Diddy party. These were powerful white men, a lot of foreigners, maybe one or two black women out of the thousands of women who were there. You maybe had two black women out of the whole crowd. There was no black women there, barely any black men there, but the black men who was there, they were celebrities. These not no regular men. These aren't regular people. So everybody who they wanted to bring down are quietly being brought down. We're just not hearing about it because we don't know who those white faces were at his parties. We don't know who those Arab faces were at his parties. We don't know these people. So we don't know who's being brought down. That's what I'm saying. It's cases running in parallel with this. So people were saying that there was some children at the freak offs, at some of the Diddy parties or whatever. Whoever was touching the child, the feds probably already saw it on camera and they probably already in jail. You just never know. Allegedly. All this alleged because we don't know. We just speculate. All we're doing is reading the transcripts and watching commentary on it, to be honest, because these billionaires, for the most part, have been untouchable. We don't do stuff that they do. We don't have sex like they have sex, guys. We're not having sex like this. I don't even know. I didn't even think it was possible to have sex for 48 hours straight until this Diddy trial. I didn't even think that was possible. But these people are on so many drugs that they are having sex for 48 hours straight. I what they're not even doing. We're not even doing the same things that they. We don't even live in the same worlds that these people live in. We just don't. We don't live in the same world that they live in, guys. Maybe it's a hard pill to swallow for some. It's not a hard pill to swallow for me. It is what it is. Even when I become a billionaire before this life is over, I'm still not doing this weird shit because I done spent most of my life not doing this weird shit. Ain't no need of me starting to do it now. I've never ever wanted to get money so that I could be around them people. A lot of these people are weird. A lot of these people are weird. The three-letter organizations collect information too. Exactly. Look at the ones leaving the country. Exact. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you. You got to look at all of that. People are literally leaving. Why are people fleeing the country right now? What? Because they scared of what was on them Diddy tapes. It's a reason the government is not pointing that out. The government already saying they going after Fahim. Fahim was the Muslim guy that was Diddy head of security, the guy, the NOI guy. They said he's a co-conspirator, so that means y'all going after him too. And they said he be sitting in the courtroom. You done sat in the courtroom. They mention your name multiple times in the courtroom because you give the money to the drug dealers, whatever the transaction is. And then they said Christina Karam was a co-conspirator. We haven't seen the Christina Karam case, but when you call somebody a co-conspirator, that means you're also going to go after them, which is wild. Which is wild. They growing them drugs themselves. You think so? The entire financial system is about to collapse worldwide. That's what they are not telling us. I don't think it's gonna ever collapse. We got too much oil for it to collapse. Man, look, Sly. I was looking at some files. I was looking at some legislation on Congress.gov. Sometimes I just go in there and look at all legislation because I can learn history lessons from that. Right? I've learned a lot of history lessons from that. These people was giving out billions of dollars in the 1700s. America been big money. This money's so old and so long over here. I could show you a section on BLM. See, I showed y'all the land patents on BLM, but we didn't get deep down into the commodities on BLM because I use that as research. And a lot of times researchers be looking at me to kind of steal high research so they can copy it. But it's areas on BLM now that I'm telling you, you can go look for yourself. It's areas on BLM where you can see how much gold we got. You can see where the oil is, where the gold is. Any kind of ruby, any kind of stone, any kind of commodity that you can think of, rare earth minerals, all that shit is in BLM. All of that. America been big money for a long time. That's why anytime I see somebody say, "Oh, we need China for their rare earth minerals," we don't need China for rare earth minerals. When I'm sitting right here in BLM system looking at it, we don't need nobody for nothing. See, America is a self-sustaining mechanism. We're probably the only self-sustaining. And not only that, all the land has not been mined. See, that's what they thought they was gonna be able to do in this big beautiful deal with, those millions of acres of land that they wanted. They wanted to open up new mining areas. America is huge. They still discovering gold. This place is huge. So this place is not gonna run out of money no time soon. In order for America to run out of money, people will stop having to use technology. You got to think when you're talking about metals, we ain't gonna run out of metals no time soon. So we ain't gonna run out of money because the whole world need metals. Trump in the big beautiful deal at the end of the EV standard. So that means people gonna still have to use gas in them cars. So as long as we got America, we got oil. Longer people keep cranking up them cars with gas in it, we ain't gonna run out of money no time soon. Other countries will run out of money way before America run out of money. And I know that for a fact. I know that because I'm looking at the files. I used to be looking at the files to see who our names is connected to the files, just to see just to see what I can see, and just know that some of the land is not in BLM. A lot of the land in Texas, a lot of the oil land in Texas Some of the land in Montana, some of the where the rare earth minerals are on the West Coast. Some of it is in BLM, some of it's not even in there. Some of it's not even in there in certain states. So, you know, I want to say that Ellen DeGeneres was one of the first with fleet feet. Right, right. Tom Hanks. Oh snap, he did slide too, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Right, I read that in the bib last night. This is a forever cycle. A lot of them have dual citizenship with Israel, and that's a problem too. And see, I think that's what Trump trying to drive with this birthright citizenship stuff too. You know, that's why the Native Americans could not be citizens until during the World Wars because y'all had dual allegiance, and that's what was going on with our people too, which we'll talk about later on today. Um, Money is food, and we gonna always eat over here. We gonna always eat over here, man. You can go to Florida and get any kind of fruit. Shit, Florida avocados are this big. Florida, we can shut America down right now. We can because this has happened. This happened in the 1700s. They shut the ports down, didn't let none come in, right? And they want to see how America would sustain itself because they already knew it was rich. They already knew America could sustain itself, so they shut the ports down. And really, that kind of parallel to the slave trade too, right? And we'll talk about that later. But when they shut it down, they already knew it could sustain itself. So instead of sending your cotton to England, you just you can only sell within America. Instead of importing English wool, you had to get wool from America. This literally happened. This literally has happened already. And what America did, built riches. It came even richer. You literally don't have to go nowhere for nothing. You don't have to go to Mexico for avocados. When Florida grow bigger avocados, you don't have to go nowhere for oranges. When Florida got the original seed, you don't have to go nowhere for peaches, for plums, for pecans, for peanuts, for cotton, for wool, for steel, for oil. I can just name out the commodities all day. The steel industry in America was before any other steel industry anywhere in the world. We had railroads before everybody. That gives you an indication that we had steel before everybody else. You know, when people came over here to America, they were shocked at what they saw. You know, they were shocked at what they saw. These people got railroads, and then they said we're gonna bring some Chinese over here, so they can build some railroads too, so we can expand west, expand the railroads west. And them Chinese spent one day out there in that hot ass sun. They got on back in the inside, and then that's when the convict leasing, you know. I've been working on the railroad. They had to get the prisoners to do it because them goddamn people couldn't stand up in that sun. Like the black man who had been building these railroads. We had railroads in the 1600s here. So, you know, um, they basically brought some of those Chinese people over here for nothing. They came over here as refugees. That's really what it was. That's like just like everybody else. Um, Let me see. Yes, my family is from East Texas, and it was a lot of oil on the land records I've found so far. You got Spindletop there. The financial system is about to go full digital and into crypto. Many banks not even carrying cash like that anymore. It's hard to cash a check these days. They placing 10-day holds on check. Who said that? Who said that? Well, they still printing out money. See, we probably was going to go really digital at one point until this big crypto thing that just happened that I'm a victim of. When they went to stealing everybody Bitcoin, and then they saw that how easy the blockchain is to uh, get all your shit stolen on. See, even the blockchain is not safe. So that for that reason alone, we're not going to go out digitally. Have you looked on the Secret Service website to see how many people are going down right now for crypto? It was $10 million on these people head just on the crypto scam alone. A lot of us got scammed out of all the IB. All the shit was stolen out the blockchain. So America, it's impossible for us to go full digital. It's impossible. They're gonna keep printing out money. They're gonna back it by a commodity, and we're gonna stay a superpower. You cannot stay a superpower if you go full digital. Now, digital currency is gonna work for some. Digital currency don't work for everything, because guess what's gonna happen when the electricity go out? You got to get a whole nother electricity grid just for digital currency alone. Because when electricity goes out, there's no way to use digital currency. It goes out with the electricity. And then when the lights turn back on, all your shit gone because somebody done got your ID some kind of way and done swiped your cryptocurrency over to their account. And then traded your cryptocurrency in for cash and just did this whole huge scheme, like huge. It's so many people crypto went missing, just missing. And I'm talking about from inside. So yeah, they're not going full digital. Now I don't know why they putting a 10-day hold on your check. You need to see about that, cause that's crazy. They're not supposed to be placing no 10-day holds on your check. With nothing coming in, we do best also when we send nothing out. They suffer exactly. We're gonna eat, and let me tell you, if we can just stop the bleeding from the money that we're sending out to every other country, we'll be fine. Like we've been sending money out since this. We've been sending money out since where is that? Where is that? Hold on. Where my graphic at? We've been sending money out for a long time. Not that. I had a graphic of Land Lease Act. I had a graphic of the Land Lease Act, but I can't find it though. So much stuff up here. We've been sending money out for a long time. Long time. Yeah, the chain gang. That's when they sent the chain gangs out. What time is 5 o'clock? 5:49. Talks about all the fruits and minerals of the promised land. Yep, there you go. And then some people came over here and said, "Well, this is our promised land." I was reading some of the files from, like I said, Congress, some of the congressional files, some of the old congressional files. It was some senators that really, really didn't know who we were when they came over here. They really didn't know. They really thought it was in Africa. They said, "Well, damn, them people, who are them people down there in the South? Why they dark? Them Africans?" So some of these people, when they came over here to America, was really confused because they just saw dark and was like, Africa. And just like, no, they from here. These dark people are from here. But it was some confusion. Some of these whites, when they came over here, they was confused. Some of them was confused. Some of them still play crazy today. No fear, people. Fear is worthless to us. Amen. Two different movies playing at once. Yeah, exactly. Jenny's looking adorable today. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't feel good today, guys. I did not feel good. I was just on here to I was gonna just send emails out live while people was in the chat. But it's impossible to work and not talk to y'all at the same time. So I am gonna get off live here and finish sending emails out and then come back live later on today. We'll discuss birthright citizenship. Hey, Susu. Hey, Chad. Hey, Queen. What's your thoughts on Washington, D.C., the map without D.C., just Washington now? I don't know. I heard about that, but I cannot find what they're talking about. I can't find it. I can't find it. But I heard people on TikTok talking about it. But when I first came on here today, I did kind of one. It's going around on TikTok that the National Archives is closing on the 7th, and I actually be going inside the archives. So I called the facility to see whether they were closing on the 7th, and they said they were not closing on the 7th. So sometimes people can, I don't know, sometimes stuff be going around on TikTok that we just have to verify. And it gets spread real quick on TikTok too. So I don't know. Did the Capitol move? I don't know. Okay, let me check it. Let's see. I don't know if the Capitol moved. I do remember Trump saying he was gonna move the BLM. I don't know whether they moved the Capitol though. Or where would it even move to? Israel? I need to get an update on Netanyahu's case as well. Okay. Gotcha. He sent me the Lynn Lease ad image. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, I got you, Dwight. Got you on that too. Got you, got you, got you. Yep, I got you. I got you. 2 and 3. Got you, got you, got you. Uh Thank you, Marlon. I appreciate it. America is returning to the Republic, no longer a corporation. It's still a corporation. This is here's America can't return nothing. I don't think it can return to nothing. The web has been woven way too deeply. Because the moment it returns to something, then it'll have to return to territories and provinces. There's no state or no state rule. The moment there's no upper government anymore, there's no states anymore. Because the state body came from the federal body. So that means the Constitution statewide will be null and void. Because it was a derivative of the federal government. The federal government just manages the states and the individual constitutions of the states. So if the United States is no longer, then that means the state of Georgia is no longer. The state of Florida is no longer. And as long as you see police running around here, as long as the military has not gotten any word that their whatever orders that they get to stop being in the military, as long as if you don't see the military going crazy about certain stuff, then that means America is still the same place. We just changed. We just did changed over leadership. That's it. They have not changed anything that I can see. Because the governor in Georgia just released some more laws today. He wouldn't have been able to do that. The laws would have been null and void. So even if they move the government from Washington, D.C., that wouldn't be the first time the government has been moved. The government has been in New York before. So them moving where the capital is does not mean that it ends the government. They just move where that seat of power is. That means they now have to turn, the District of Columbia into, it'll have to have its own constitution. I don't know whether the District of Columbia have its own constitution like other states have. They may. I don't know. I don't think they do, but they may. However, the seat of power movement does not mean the government is ended. It doesn't. I think he moved BLM, though. I know he moved. Well, last time Trump was in office, he moved all the tribes. He moved all the tribes off the land and housed them up in Alaska. Now, I don't know what Biden did when he came back in, whether he moved the tribes back. But even moving the tribes didn't move the power because Alaska is still in America. So it doesn't. I don't think them moving around does nothing. I don't think it does what we think we want it to do. I don't even think we don't have enough power set up to do what we think we want to be done in our head. Because we think we want the government to end and it to be reverted back, but we're not in place for it to even be reverted back. Only a few people, not a few people, but not a few, is way more than a few. But how I look at it is, I look at the people with heirs property as a barometer. Because the only people that'll be safe if it's reverted back are those people. They're the only ones who can put a self-governing body in place. They're the only ones that can now wall their shit off as a territory. They're the only ones. If you're renting from someone, say you're renting from Capital Homes, and you don't understand titles, you don't understand that when you get a mortgage, you don't understand that you don't own your home, then that corporation is over that territory now. They can literally call that their territory if they don't have no oversight. We're not ready for no oversight. It's too many goofy people, it's too many hotel people. You're not ready for that oversight, because once you start talking on that level, then they're going to send a team of people. They did it to me. They're going to send a team of people to come take your message and twist and turn it. They twist and turn my message so far that it got turned back to the original message. That's just how crazy this shit is. They twist and turned my message about land patents so far that they ended up by default twisting it back to what I was originally saying. All them people for nothing. I'm telling you, even the Native Americans, they twist and turn my message so far when I was calling them Siberian, telling them they were Siberian Huskies and all that kind of stuff. When they came at me first, I wasn't going to come at them. They came at me first, and then I started calling them Siberian Huskies, telling them they didn't know their lineage and all that kind of stuff. They tried to twist that stuff so bad that it manifested in their life, and they realized that, damn, wait, we don't know our people. Now you got actual people from China telling them that they're Siberian. It's a whole argument going on TikTok right now about cybers who is Siberian stealing their culture from Chinese. So the Chinese people are coming after the Native American people on TikTok right now about culture. Like the Asians are having their own fight going on right now. I kid you not. Because guess what? People are being deported. People are scared. And they now see that the girl was yelling at us. The girl was joking on us bad, but she was right. She was right. We don't have enough stuff in place. We don't have enough stuff in place. I really see on the internet how when you think they know in real time what they're talking about us, here come the African narrative. Yeah. Okay, inbox me. It's me. It's me, Denise. Look for Federal District, Columbia, and Washington. It's just that Washington. Yeah, they terminated the tribes too. Hold on, let me see what y'all talking about. Federal District of Washington. Western District of Washington. Western District of Washington. The U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington. United States District. What am I looking at? Washington, D.C.? Hmm. You talk about this Wikipedia page? I see what y'all talking about. You talk about this Wikipedia page and say Washington, D.C., formerly District of Columbia and commonly known as Washington or D.C., is the capital and federal district of the United States. So they dropped the District of Columbia, but they're still the capital city and federal district of the United States. District is named for Columbia. Yes, it said the U.S. Constitution in 1789 called for a creation of a federal district under exclusive jurisdiction of the U.S. Congress. As such, Washington D.C. is not part of any state and is not one itself. That's what I was thinking. I didn't think it had no its own constitution, but the Constitution called for the creation of a federal district. Federal district can be anywhere. It just got to be inside of America because the U.S. Congress got to manage it. Like I said, it was in New York at one point. It was in New York. It's been a few places. Now, why would they move it? I don't know. It doesn't look like it moved to me because it's still saying the federal district is in the capital city and federal district of the United States. Let me see what y'all saying. Um, I put it in God's hands. We're gonna have to get it together, like or not. I'll rather be on permanent camper trip and to continue to live under the thumb and should stay. Yeah, the district could be the. Oh, you see, go on Google Maps. I was on a. Let me see. Let me see. Let me try this before I get out here, guys, because I'm actually gonna do some history. Damn, it's 6 o'clock already. Google Maps. Let's see. I'm on Google Maps. It says Washington, but it says Washington. It says District of Columbia up under it, but it doesn't say it on the map. It just say Washington. So you saying on the map it used to say Washington D.C.? I don't know. I don't think it. I don't think it. I don't think it's moved. I don't think they've moved it. I thought they had to stay within their 13 colony sites. Thank you. For PhD said, go eat, freshen up, and circle back with us. That's what I was trying to do. That's what I was trying to do. Go get some energy. And I'm gonna come back tonight, guys. I'll probably be back. I ain't know it was 6 o'clock. I'll probably be back at 8 o'clock. It's gonna be a night show. I'll probably be back at 8 o'clock, guys. 8 o'clock. I'll be back on here. Um, we're gonna talk about birthright citizenship and history. And this, yeah, we'll talk about that later on. Please click the bell notifications. I'm gonna try to keep the show clean because I'm talking about history. I'll try to keep it as clean as possible so that you'll be able to share it. But I'll be on here at 8 o'clock tonight, guys, for another show on birthright citizenship. Okay, love y'all. Bye. Oh, and I am emailing people. Like I literally got a whole nother computer emailing people. I got a lot of people reports already. I just haven't typed it up and emailed it. So a lot of y'all information I've already found. I'm going to send y'all what I have found, and then we'll go from there. I just literally got to type it up, and then I'll start on another group of people. Okay. So if you made an order on last week, it's people in front of you. I can tell you that right now. But it will not take me a long time. I just got to type this stuff up, guys. That's it. Yeah, but that's it. I love y'all so much. I will see y'all later on today. Bye.